watch it fly. It's caught by Thomas. There's the record for Peyton Manning.
Nothing wrong with Orange and Blue Podcast.
What up, what up, what up? NRW crew, what's up, Broncos country, and welcome to the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Bakke. With me, as always, my best buddy, Isaiah Henderson, at Word Over World, Pookie Night, whatever you want to call him. We are excited to be here with you tonight. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue on the MHRT Network. We are a fan-led, Broncos-based podcast going over all things NFL, but mostly Broncos. We go live every Friday at 7654 on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Please, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, like, subscribe, share. Let's family, grow it out there. Send it to your friends. Get everybody involved, right? Please do not miss our other shows, okay? On Tuesdays, we have Broncos Talk with a 6'10" Mexican and our brother up in Canada, Richie Riche. On Thursdays, we have an MHRT podcast, which is our flagship podcast. Mundungus Creevy, Glenn Mile High Fiber Hauser, Mr. Boggins, and a 6'10" Mexican. Both of those shows also go live at 7654 on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Also, do not forget that we have our pregame show, The Neighborhood. All right? Every pregame, approximately an hour and a half before game time. Join us. This Sunday, I'll be hosting. Join us, talk game, really, get your demons out before the game starts. We'll have a lot of fun and have a lot to talk about, okay? Isaiah, how was your week?
It was a long, cold week. It's been cold. It's not Richie cold because Richie said he had 2 snow nights in a row. So it's not Canada cold, but it's been pretty cold out there working out there. So it's been a long week. I got to finish this week up with drill this weekend. So unfortunately, I won't be participating in the pregame show.
The neighborhood.
The neighborhood. But, it's been a long week, and I'm glad I get to end this week talking Broncos.
That's right. That is right. Yeah, it's been an interesting week for me too. The last 2 weeks, my wife has gone back to work for the first time in about 2 years. So the first half of the day, I'm a single dad, and which is something I wouldn't say single. You know what I mean, though. I'm by myself. There. The safety net that I've always had of my wife.
Stay-at-home dad for the first half. Okay,
for the first half of the day, I'm a stay-at-home dad. That's a great way to put it. I'm taking care of the kids. It's a whole new dynamic for us. I don't have that safety net of my wife being there to help me. I've never been alone with all the kids by myself for very long, anyway.
You know what the acronym for that is?
What?
SAD. SAHD. So you were sad all week. All right.
Stay at home dad. I like that. That's sad.
You were sad.
No, but anyway, it's been definitely an interesting new dynamic in my life, but it's okay. Rich, okay, you know what? I'll bring that up in a minute, Rich. Anyway, it's been a new dynamic, but it's been interesting, and I'm starting to get, a good rhythm with the kids, and I'm figuring it out, and it's going well now. So that's a good thing. Now it's time to talk Broncos. So let's talk. Let's just start with the biggest news of the week. Okay. All right. Travis Tarbox in the house. He's never been live on NRW before.
Welcome, Travis.
That's awesome. Travis, welcome to the show. It's good to see you. All right. Welcome to the NRW. Hey, hold on. Yeah, I forgot to cheers. Here we go. We always cheers our new faces in our show.
Cheers to you, Travis.
Good to see you, Travis. Good to see you. So, let's jump into the comments real quick. We got Avatar. What's up, Broncos country?
Avatar always first in.
Absolutely. Our boy Rich up in Canada, host of Broncos Talk on Tuesdays. What's up, Southern folk? Got some snow 2 nights in a row. Cannot wait to go ice fishing, and I'm jealous. I love ice fishing.
I don't know what that means, but congrats.
You don't know what ice fishing is?
It's a joke. It's because we're in Tennessee. Gosh,
That's true.
don't
That's
bite
true.
my
And
face off.
by the way, you're sitting here talking about how cold it's been in Tennessee, bro. This is shorts weather for me. I've been outside like in my shorts and a t-shirt all week.
I don't care. It was cold. Cold is cold. I don't care.
Nugget says the best show.
Thank
like
you.
that.
I know.
I like it, boss.
NRWOB
I
is
like
the
it. I
best
like it.
show. Thank you.
Rich also says still short weather above 30 degrees. See, he agrees with me. He
Fine,
agrees
wear
with
shorts. I don't care.
And then he calls me a homemaker, which, you know what? I'm gonna bounce you from the chat, Rich.
He was sad all week.
I'm gonna bounce you straight from the chat, buddy. No. Anyway, so let's see. My Avatar says, Mundungus, I just want to let you know I unfortunately will not be here for the podcast on this coming Thursday due to a meeting. All right, so we'll miss. Avatar will be missed for MHRT podcast on Thursday.
He said he will watch the show. He said he will watch the show after the fact. So we definitely appreciate that, Avatar. You will be missed.
Now, here is a new name in the chat: Steve Starkovich.
Steve, second new name. Yep. Travis and
second
Steve.
new name. So here's to you, Steve. Welcome to the MHRT, and welcome to the NRW crew. All right. He says, "Can we beat the Cowgirls, please? Cannot stand their arrogant fans." You know what? I'm actually going to agree with Steve on this.
Is that a question or are you making a statement? Because if that's a question, boy, do I have an answer. Let's go with statement.
Anyway, we're going to go with statement, Isaiah.
Yeah, let's go with statement.
No, it's definitely a statement. Look, I agree with Steve on the fact that I cannot stand the Cowboys only because of their fans. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing Cowboys are America's team. Cowboys haven't been relevant in almost 3 decades. You're not America's team anymore if you ever really were. Okay, so I'm with you there, Steve. All right, so let's talk about the biggest news of the week so far. Let's talk about Von Miller, which real quick, I wore my my hat, which I had embroidered with Von Miller's autograph years ago. Just kind of a fun thing I did at Lids, but I decided that in reverence to the man, the myth, the legend, Von Miller, I would wear that hat today for the show.
Yeah, I wasn't on the emergency podcast, so
I wasn't either. I had to work. I was at work.
So this is Johnny and I's first reaction to the Von Miller.
Yeah. So let's just get it out of the way. I'm going to say my part. As a fan, I'm devastated. Like, as a fan, it kills. It hurts. It sucks. It stinks. I hate seeing him go. Doesn't even have the same feel in Broncos country without him.
It doesn't.
But you know what? From a business standpoint, as an analyst, from a business standpoint, it was a heck of a move.
We got a second and a third from it. So I mean, that's legit. I think now we're up to 11 picks in the draft.
Yeah,
I think we have 2 second-round picks, so we
we have 5 in the first 3 rounds right now.
Yeah, so George
Payton. I do not foresee us using all 5 of those. I don't. Like, let's just go ahead and be honest.
No, but we knew coming into this that George Payton was the type of guy. Denver Gator, what's up?
Just want to pop in and tell you guys I love the show. Let's go Broncos. What up, Denver Gator?
Love you too, Denver Gator. Appreciate that. Cheers to you. But
yes, my friend.
We know he's the type of guy to compile draft picks, and he's doing just that, just like he said he would.
Absolutely.
Like I said, as a fan, it sucked.
It hurt.
It sucked. It really isn't the same.
No, it isn't.
It really isn't the same. And if we feel like it's not the same, then 100% sure the locker room and the team definitely don't feel the same. Yeah. But I'm gonna be that guy for about 30 seconds, Johnny. I'm gonna be that guy. Okay, I'm gonna be that guy. I don't care what anybody says.
Hold on for 30 seconds. But that calls for a drum roll. 30 seconds. Go.
I can see Von Miller coming back to the Broncos after this year, because at the end of the year, Von Miller's going to be a free agent. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Rams can afford Von Miller after the end of the season. They barely can afford anything.
They were already maxed out on cap before they got him.
So going into that, at the end of the year, they're going to use him, see if they can get a Super Bowl ring with it. And he's going to be a free agent. And I think he's going to test the market. I think it's going to be a Kareem Jackson situation. And I think it's going to be a Kareem Jackson situation. And I think that he might be willing to take less money for a 2-3 year contract for less money. He'll be 34, 35, 36, one of those ages, and take less money and retire as a Bronco. That's just.
So do you think this is actually going to happen, or is it just a hope?
It's a hope.
Because if you think this is going to happen, it's about to become a hot take.
No, it's a hope. It's a high hope. There's no guarantee.
Yeah,
this
no,
is
definitely.
a high hope. This is a high.
All right, so I'm gonna. Rich says it here. In my opinion, Vaughn will not be back. Now, here's what I think. Here's what I think. Yeah, you're bound. You're out of here. No. Here's what I think. Right. So I don't foresee it going the way you're saying it's going to go. I do see him retiring a Bronco.
Oh, obviously, he's going to sign a one-day contract.
He's going to. I mean, they did it for Demaryius Thomas. They gave him a one-day contract to retire a Bronco. If they're going to do it for DT, they're definitely going to do it for Von Miller. The guy was the face of our franchise for over a decade. He's going to be he's going to retire as a Bronco. He said it. Broncos for life. But it felt weird. Did you see his presser? And for the Rams, and he's wearing Rams gear, and
I can't bring myself to watch it. I didn't even know
he's rocking
after Von Miller got traded. After Von Miller got traded, I stayed up Broncos Twitter because I saw the initial news, read some tweets, tweeted what I had to say, and I just kind of stayed off of it because I mean it's just it's been a like Johnny had this week. It was sad.
It was sad.
It was sad, so I kind of stayed away from it. He did post a picture of a guy at Rams practice in the distance,
his Broncos gear,
wearing his Broncos gear.
I saw that.
That right there is a true fan. That guy came all the way up there. Was like, "Hey, we're here for you." Broncos country absolutely loves him. And I mean, it's going through the stages of grief. Absolutely. Denial is one of them. So
bringing up Steve right here. Steve said it. Vaughn even said, I think it was yesterday. He said it. Who knows?
On multiple occasions.
Occasions. I think even his hope is to end up back in Denver.
Yes. So you take that. You take him being a free agent. You take Broncos country loving him. You take George Payton, who I don't think George Payton's like, hey, Vaughn, once you're gone, you're gone. We moved on from you. Because at the end of the day, when Vaughn's a free agent, we still keep those draft picks. If, say, for example, we signed Von Miller on a 2-year, $15 million deal. I'm just throwing out numbers. That's not what I'm saying it is. Thank you. He's not in for the money. He'll be back next year. Thanks, Steve.
Steve agrees with you.
So if we re-signed Vaughn at the end of the year for 2 years, $15 million, I'm just throwing out a number out there. That second and third round pick, we keep those. So imagine George Payton getting those draft picks and then getting Vaughn back next year for less money.
It's a straight thing from the movie Draft Day right there. That would be like, he set this all up. Okay, we get draft picks and then we get them back. We only lost them for what? How many games? It'd be wild.
9
games. Wild.
9 games.
It'd be crazy. Here's hoping. Now, that being said, I'm going to go into the business, into the actual trade side of it, looking at what we got, right? Second and third round pick. Now, I saw social media explode when this happened, talking about how, we didn't get nothing for him. Second, third round picks, we get nothing. And I'm like, y'all obviously
I don't know what they expected.
Yeah, I'm like, y'all obviously don't know the value of draft picks because a second and a third round together is worth almost $10 million. And we're on the hook to pay him for $9 million. So we basically just bought two draft picks.
That's exactly
we wouldn't have had otherwise. And here's the thing: this was the final year of his contract, right? Yeah. If we didn't re-sign him next year and he left, the only thing we'd get from him is like maybe a 5th round compensatory pick.
And I saw that too.
So we got a second and a third for a 32-year-old aging edge rusher with a massive contract. That's not a bad deal. It was smart. It was good. Yeah,
Steve's
there you go.
On my side. And I like the way it says it. We loaned him to LA for this year and got 2 picks. I like that word loan. Hey, you could borrow him for a little bit. You're borrowing him. We expect him back. Okay.
All right. You know what? Like Steve has already been so involved in this chat, Isaiah. We've got to come up with a nickname for him. Steve, we come up with nicknames for people on the show. Starkovich.
Ooh, I got it. Hold on. It's coming to me. I'm better with nicknames.
Bull. Anyway. You keep working on Tony Stark. We're gonna call you Iron Man, Steve. That's right.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
I was thinking that, but I wasn't sure. Iron Man. Steve, you're now Iron Man.
There you go, Steve. You're Iron Man now.
Wait. He's a mixture. Wait.
What?
He's a mixture of Steve Rogers and Tony Stark. What can we do with that?
I mean, Iron Patriot. No, that's stupid. Iron America. No.
Iron America.
Just Iron America. No, you know what? No. Straight up, just Iron Man. Just stick with Iron Man. All right, he's got Stark in his name. It works. Iron Man's cool. So, Steve, as long as you're cool with it, you are now Iron Man to the NRW crew. So there you go, brother. I want to jump back here a little bit further in the chat. Travis Tarbox coming in. He and I had chatted some before he was going to the Ravens game, and he said the Ravens game didn't end like we hoped, but the experience was absolutely amazing.
Oh, I bet
the
it was.
incomplete chant in the stadium gave me chills. It was epic. That is one of the most.
Same thing.
I'm gonna say this. There's a few stadiums, there's a few fan bases and a few stadiums in the NFL that have things that they do that are absolutely demoralizing to other teams. The Chiefs have the chop. That's really the only other one. And then, the Steelers have the terrible towel where they sit there and whip that towel back and forth, and the entire stands are doing it at the same time. In Denver, we literally the difference there is that in Steelers Nation and in Chiefs Kingdom, where they're doing those things, they just do those usually on third down to try to keep distract you. But in Broncos country, whenever somebody screws up and throws that incomplete pass, we mock them. We are literally mocking the fact that they did not, that either the quarterback misthrew it or the receiver didn't catch it. We're literally like, ha ha ha. And that's what's fun about the incomplete.
That's what it was. Cortland Sutton was mic'd up. He said that is demoralizing.
Yeah, it is.
He said that is demoralizing. Steve says Stark works, or he said, he said Stark works.
All right, there we go.
Stark.
There you go. Thor, so was he? No, were you? Hey, Steve, on this one, were you saying Thor works or that works?
I think he corrected himself. I think it was autocorrect and said Stark.
All right, so you want to go by Stark? We can do that.
Yeah, let us know if you go by Stark.
We can do that.
Denver Gator says gonna miss 58. Glad to see him go to an NFC contender with Donald Ramsey. George Payton wasn't going to send him to the AFC.
No, heck no.
It was tough watching his heartbreak week after It was tough watching his heartbreak week after week last few years, and we got a good compensation. Yeah.
Although we also saw his heartbreak this week when he left the stadium for the last time.
Yeah.
There was a lot of emotion for him.
But for this time. But George Payton definitely said he said the goal was to do right by Vaughn. And he did do right by him. And I think sending him to the Rams was him and Aaron Donald are going to be nasty. I mean, the Rams were ecstatic. The NFL was shocked. You should have seen the memes that came up when Vaughn he said Vaughn was on the team with a fan named Mundungus. Obviously, he wants to come. Obviously, it's because of you.
Obviously because of you. Look, I love Mundungus. All right, but I told him the other day on the phone. I was like, dude, you are a textbook narcissist. Like 100%. All right. So Steve says it's your pod, man. Hey, that's for sure. But hey, we want to do right by our fans. All right, we want this to be a family. We want
you to call you something you don't want to be called.
Yeah, you don't want to be called something. We won't call you that. So that's why we ask. We gave you this nickname. Muhammad Badri became Mobad, and
Kenneth Booker became KB82.
Yeah, KB82.
Dave Glassman became Dave Full Glassman. I came up with the Mundungus nickname for Mike.
No,
Mike
did.
Mike used to, let me finish. Mike used to be just Mike, and it was boring old Mike. So I started calling him Mundungus.
Old Mike.
And it just stuck. So now he goes by Mundungus Creevy. You're welcome, Mundungus.
I need to add lies to the soundboard. That's what I need to add. I need to add the word lies. Anyway, back to Von Miller real quick. I want to finish this part up and move on to the next segment. Basically, this is how we all felt. I mean, sadness. Watching Von leave.
Johnny was sad all week.
I was. I mean, I have been on
stay-at-home dad all week.
That's right. Hey, I love my kids. Right. Listen, I love my kids. Okay, and and I've never actually gotten this much time with them. Now that I have found a rhythm, I'm actually really enjoying it because I finally am getting my wife and I are literally splitting the time taking care of them now, and it means that I'm getting a lot more time with my children, which is something I haven't had before. So it's a lot. I'm actually enjoying it quite a lot at this point. So let's move on. Let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to continue with Von Miller a little bit, but it's a bit of a different subject. We really need to figure out and I don't know if y'all noticed, we also put up Von Miller in the background there of the pod for today because hey, he deserves it.
Makes me so sad.
I do too. It does. It feels weird seeing him wear number 40 and rocking, blue and
I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear it.
I know. but you know,
Maybe
it's
not.
okay. So, let's talk about this. So here's what can happen now with the departure of Von Miller from the Denver locker room. Either the team can absolutely just implode. You know, their leader's gone, and they're, you know, and maybe they feel like, and then maybe they feel like, you know, what are we even fighting for now? I don't know. But I mean, the locker room could literally just implode in on itself because their leader is gone.
I could see that happening.
And it would suck. It would absolutely.
I mean, they're professionals, but I mean, they're also humans too.
True. I mean, people have emotions.
People ask who's the face of the franchise. We don't have a face of the franchise.
We do. We so do, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Yes, we do. And we'll talk about it in a minute. But here's the thing. I think, and what I'm hoping, and Benjamin Albright, he hit on this. Whatever. Shush. Benjamin Albright hit on this yesterday on Broncos Country Tonight when they were when him and Ryan Edwards were on. Is that from everything, you know, he's the bona fide Broncos insider. I mean, he was literally there all the time talking to everybody. It seems like this news and what's happened here has actually galvanized the locker room and the environment. Like, they feel more pumped up than they have felt in previous weeks. That's what he's reporting. Now, he is the bona fide insider. He's the one that we trust to give us the truth. I'm hoping what he's saying is true, because that's what we need. We need them to, instead of using this,
Shadow Jacket?
Shadow in the house. Instead of, taking the loss of Von Miller to the LA Rams and letting it wreck the team further than it already is, they need to use that fact. They need to use it as motivation, and they need to come together and unify again. Because we know, I mean, I guarantee you, even if it hasn't been reported, that with the 4 losses in a row, the team, there was a bit of I guarantee there was a bit of a rift going down that locker room between the offense and the defense.
I'm gonna let you do most of the talking today, Johnny, because I am going to be a negative Nancy. Not as negative as Glenn Hauser in the comment section. Is Glenn
who's sitting here? Oh no, that's Rich saying that.
The one above it.
There it is. Vaughn won't be coming back. 0 chance. Listen, negative Nancy.
You know what? Your nickname is no longer Mile High Five. Your nickname is Glenn Hoser, because you're hosing on my parade. You're no longer raining on it, but you're hosing on it. So your new nickname is Glenn Hoser.
No, you can't use that. That's a derogatory term in Canada. That's a derogatory term in Canada for somebody.
Does Glenn live in Canada?
No, Rich does.
Okay, then. Gosh, Glenn. Just hose on my parade.
And then Rich said, Glenn, you're so negative. To which Glenn said, Joe Rogan told me that. Wow. All right, then.
I want more information on that.
I do want more information on that.
I definitely want more information on that. He said, take off hosing.
All right, so Johnny Bolin is not the face franchise. Blood of the city. Yes, face. No. Dude, if Johnny Bolin was the face of this franchise, the entire fan base would depart. Johnny Bolin's a joke, dude. Anyway, Travis says Elway is the face of the franchise, always has been, even when he steps away. See, here's the thing, Travis. I think there's a difference between the face of the franchise and the most the one that's held in the highest esteem in the franchise. So, like, when we were talking about a face of the franchise, we're talking about somebody who's interviewed every week. Everybody, they get interviewed every week. They're the ones that people turn to talk about the Broncos when they do promos and stuff like that. You don't want old Elway. John Elway is not going to be the one that they're using for like promos for a game or anything like that. They're going to be using current players. The one that you're going to see is going to be is that face of the franchise. And
Johnny,
up to this point, that's been Von Miller. Yeah.
Johnny, quick question. Denver Broncos, first face you see, go. Don't think about it, go.
First face I see, John Elway.
Okay. Current players, Denver Broncos, go.
Current players who is currently on the team right now, Justin Simmons.
Okay, so you say Justin Simmons the face.
Absolutely, I say Justin Simmons.
When I hear Denver Broncos, I don't think Justin Simmons.
Who do you think?
I thought Von Miller. Now, I don't think Justin Simmons. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater. We'll get into Peyton's comment about Teddy Bridgewater. You know, if
Here's
we want
why.
to, we can.
Here's why I say Justin Simmons. Okay, I say Justin Simmons because he is a veteran on this team. He's a captain. Okay,
I say he's the leader.
He's now he's the lead. He is.
I wouldn't say
in addition, he is the guy that gets interviewed several times every single week.
I'd say he's the leader. He's the guy with the biggest contract. I'd say he's
also the guy who does the most community outreach of anybody on the team.
But he's not the face.
He's the face. He's going to be the face. Even if he's not right now, he's going to be. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Hands down.
I'm not the only one who thinks that at all. Here we go. Glenn even agrees. Here, he's not being negative. Justin Simmons, 1 billion.
Oh, he's not being negative because he's agreeing with you. 100%.
Oh,
face of the franchise, top of the dome, Bobby Massey.
Oh my! I almost spit my beer.
No question.
You can't do that to me.
1, 2, 3, go, Bobby Massey. Can't think about it.
Stop talking. Mendoza says Sam Martin.
Sam Martin. Long snapper. Hands down, it's the long snapper.
Oh my God.
But currently, if I had to pick anybody, I'd say Justin Simmons. I wouldn't say he's the solidified face. I'd say he is the face by default.
Sure, but you know what? Who else is it going to be right now?
That's what I'm saying. If I think by default, it goes to Justin.
For right
Simmons.
now, I mean, we don't have a franchise quarterback. We don't. I like Teddy B. He is not the answer. He's the Band-Aid on a bullet wound. All right. He's not the answer here. He's not the face of the franchise. The guy who currently is on the team, besides our kicker, who, I mean, let's be honest, Brandon McManus.
Well, he's the last one's from SB50.
Sure,
so why isn't he?
Okay, would you really want goofy Brandon McManus being the face of this franchise?
If your kicker is the face of your franchise, you're not doing something right.
That being said, there's nobody else as polarizing on our team right now as Justin Simmons is.
I'd say Courtland Sutton.
And you know what? And I agree. He's the closest, and he could be the offensive face of the team.
But he's coming off injury, and he's still working his way back. So I'd have to go with Justin Simmons. You know who's not too far behind?
Says here. Look, Simmons is the first back-to-back Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the last 2 years. That means right there, his outreach with the community,
he's legit,
and everything he does. That right there is enough. And Rich, you're being negative, Nancy, now saying sadly Simmons is the face. You're the only guy in the world I know that hates Justin Simmons. So just stop talking.
Now, what I will say is who's not too far behind. And Melvin Gordon said this too. Patrick Surtain is not too far behind.
Yeah, he's
even as a rookie. Even as a rookie, I wouldn't be surprised if with Von Miller gone. I wouldn't be surprised if just Patrick Surtain is the second best player on the team, and especially with Bryce Callahan gone too. Oh my God, we got so much to talk about.
Bryce Callahan, he's on IR, but it's more than likely from what I've heard, it's gonna be short-term IR.
I heard he's done for the rest of the season.
You did?
8
okay,
weeks,
I hadn't heard that yet.
8 weeks. What's that thing you used to say, Johnny? On a scale of 1 to even, I just can't.
Yeah. On a scale from 1 to even, I just can't.
Bryce Callahan gone.
I can't even.
Patrick Surtain may actually be the second best player on our defense.
He might be the. I mean, he's the best. I would argue he's the best cornerback.
Yeah, Shelby Harris has stepped up greatly in the last 2 weeks.
Big time.
Draymond Jones is excellent. Pat Surtain may be the second best player on our team.
I honestly say that Pat Surtain is the best quarterback on our team, even over Callahan.
Pat Surtain is the best quarterback.
I've argued that for a couple weeks now. But let's go ahead and move on from the Von Miller. But like I said, what needs to happen right now, this is very important, is that the locker room needs to not let this destroy them. The trading of Von Miller. They need to
step up the most in that locker room this week.
This week? You mean talk about for this game or just to try to keep this team together?
No, not to keep the team together. That's obvious. This week, who really needs to show up and really be incredible?
I would say it's going to have to be the secondary. I mean,
I'm not just defense.
No, you know
offense and defense. Offense and defense.
Okay, so offensively, in order to win this game, they got to run the ball. Okay,
so not Teddy Bridgewater. Basically, our O line is that what you're saying?
The weakest point for the Dallas Cowboys is their interior defensive line. We have got to run the ball.
That's
Period.
also our weakest link is our interior.
It is, but we have to run the ball. We have to keep the ball on the ground. Listen to me, Pat Shermer. I know you're watching. Okay.
Yeah, Pat.
yeah. Listen, Pat. We know you're watching. We have to run the ball. Keep the ball running. I'm not saying don't pass at all.
Keep it out of Dak Prescott's hand.
The run going.
Keep it out of Dak Prescott's
keeps it out of Dak Prescott's hand. It eats the clock.
I believe he's coming back. I believe Dak Prescott's coming back this week.
He was a full participant on Wednesday and Thursday and today in practice.
Yeah, he's coming back.
He'll be playing this week. In fact, he was ready last week. He was ready to play on Sunday night against the Vikings. He just the Cowboys were just being a little extra cautious, so they played Cooper Rush.
Is Caden Stern stepping up in Callahan's spot?
Don't know yet. There's been talk there has been talk that Fuller might even get a new start, another try to be on the field.
I'm sorry, I almost cursed.
I don't like it. Don't curse. Don't curse. Family show. Do not curse. I don't have the bleep ready.
But Kyle Fuller said
there's been talk about that. There's been talk about Stearns. There's even been talk about Patrick Surtain rotating from the outside to nickel, which I'm like,
who's going to play a boundary?
Exactly. That's what I said. Don't do it. He is killing it on the boundary. We do not need him in the nickel right now. So
I heard.
Okay. All right. You know what? And there we go. Isang Bassi. He's coming back,
but he's coming back from injury with no.
Yeah, but you know what? He's been from some things that I've read, he's coming back strong.
Glenn said Stearns is a safety. Yes, he is, but I've also seen Caden Stearns play in the nickel and dime. I have seen that.
Rich. Johnny Shermer heard you. He's going to run the ball every first and second down.
I'd have no problem with that if we were getting 6 and 7 yards.
No, I do have a problem with that because it's what he already does, and it's so ridiculously predictable.
But we don't get 6-7 yards. If we're getting 6-7 yards per carry,
but again, we could because the weakest spot for the Dallas defense is their interior D line.
Glenn comes in and corrects it. Bassi and Dawson not playing.
Darn it! Okay,
is Michael Ojemudia back?
No.
I'd say maybe Kyle Fuller. Glenn, you did say Caden Stearns is safety. I know he is.
Let me look at it. Let's look at it this way. Let's just for the sake of argument, say Kyle Fuller gets a second opportunity to come on the field.
And we take him off the boundary and put him at nickel or dime.
Listen, but here's the point. Listen to this. All right, he got benched. A veteran got benched. Not just like, hey, come sit out for a little while with somebody else. No, he got benched. That's embarrassing. Especially for someone who has commanded as much respect as he has he got benched. That lights a fire under someone's butt because that lets them know, dude, we're tired of your crap. We're not putting up with it.
Well,
so maybe he uses that to be like, okay, I got to do better. And he comes back in and he balls out. It could happen. I'm not saying it's likely, but it could happen.
So, will Kyle Fuller play boundary or interior?
Interior. Okay. Patrick Surtain has been killing it way too much on the boundary for them to swap that
Dallas
out.
Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb. When I've watched,
they got CeeDee Lamb. They got what's his name?
Amari Cooper and Gallup.
Amari Cooper, but Amari Cooper is currently. I think it's Amari Cooper that's rocking like 4 different injuries, dude. He's got like a knee, a hip, a rib, and a calf injury all at once.
The question is, if Kyle Fuller played interior, is he going to get destroyed by whoever their slot receiver is? And a lot of times when I watch film, the Broncos get beat on drags across the field almost every single time.
Yeah.
So the way to solve that is you drop into a zone and then you switch the defenders. But for some reason, we have a lack of communication, and we just let them go. That's how the Chiefs killed us. That's how the Raiders killed us.
We didn't play the Chiefs yet. What are you talking about?
About last season.
Oh, okay, last season. Okay.
But that's how. And I'm pretty sure Dallas is watching film and saying that drag across the field is what kills us every time, and it comes from the slot. So is Kyle Fuller? I doubt Kyle Fuller's going back to the boundary. I'd like to see Caden Stearns because, in my opinion, with Bryce Callahan, I think this is Bryce Callahan's last year on his contract. I believe so. He's been injured every year he's been on the Broncos, even though he's played great. The question is, he's played great, but he's injury prone. Do you take a risk on him? If not,
I would.
I mean, I would, but I'd like to see somebody step up and show the Broncos, hey, it's okay to let Bryce Callahan go.
Right.
You're taken care of. So I'd like to. My thing is, I like to see guys step up and say, "Hey, I know he's the starter, but you got something in me too." And we just so they also like Nate Hairston a lot too.
Nate Hairston stepped up big time in training camp.
They like him a lot too.
And in fact, sorry, I forgot that when we were talking about who was possibly going to be in. I've heard a lot about Nate Hairston. That was on another one that Ben Albright and Ryan Edwards talked about on Broncos Country tonight.
Hold on, Garrett Bowles
talked about it on Locked On with
Garrett Bowles and Noah Fant are out for the game.
Yeah. Well, Bowles, I knew. I actually didn't know.
He'll be back next week.
But you know what? If I'm being honest right now, Fant hasn't been what we were hoping. And you know what? I'm actually not that sad. Albert Okwuegbunam has been way better than Fant the last few weeks. So you know what?
Noah Fant has had a good last couple of games.
As far as a receiver, as a blocker, he's abysmal.
And his penalties, I think he has 7 penalties on the
penalties, and his blocking ability is abysmal. It's a joke.
And then Noah Fant, I think this last week went on.
He asked for
social media and was like, "I don't want to be traded."
Yeah,
I think he got scared. Von Miller got let go, and Vance been struggling.
Look, who can blame the guy?
Albert Owens,
he knows that even his butt is on the hot seat right now because he ain't been performing the way he should be.
Tight end position we're gonna be okay. Is Calvin Anderson stepping up in Garrett Bowles' position?
Yes, he is. And another thing that was talked about that I heard that I was taught that I love referencing Broncos Country tonight because Ryan Edwards and Ben Albright. Ben Albright is we talk about it all the time.
Hold on, Johnny.
Bonafide Bronco. What?
The reason why I stopped you, it's been mental, definitely. Let me take a step back. Because Noah Fant did lose his mother this year. And I know what it's like to lose your mother. So you know what? I will take a step back.
All right, you know what?
Because that's very tough.
I'm not criticizing.
No, I know. I'm just saying for Broncos Country because a lot of people were, and I saw somebody tweet, "Hey, he lost his mom."
He did lose his mom.
And then people backed off a little bit. So if I was too harsh, I'm backing up because that's rough. Imagine your mom being the reason why you did all this, and then you lose her, and then he's trying to find. I think he's trying to find his motivation, his reason. I think he's trying to find his reason and his purpose. So that's definitely an issue. So I just pray that he can find it back. But moving on back on to the rest of it.
So look, I get that he lost his mom. I haven't lost my mom. I know you have Isaiah, so I don't have anywhere to talk except that my mother adopted you, so you do still have a mom.
I have like 7.
You have my mom. No, you don't have anybody. Anybody else? My mom.
Well, I have my stepmother.
You have my mom. Stop.
I also have my mother-in-law. So.
Well, there's that. But my mom. Okay. On this show, it's my mom. Okay. Joking. Anyway, look, I get that he lost his mother, and I know that has got to be so absolutely devastating. But then what's his excuse for last season? Last season, he was pulling the same crap.
No, not like he was this year. Last season, he wasn't getting
not like it was not like it was this year. Okay, here's my point. Last season, he did not look that great either. Okay, even before, he may look worse this season, which you can attribute maybe part of that to losing his mom, if you're talking about the mental side of it. But then what was the excuse for last season for the shoddy play last season? Not completely.
I'm not going to say. I'm going to say about 97% was Pat Shurmur. Because if you remember his blocking. If I'm remembering correctly, his blocking hasn't been, and the penalties hasn't been as bad as it was. Because everybody has blocking mess ups and everybody has mistakes, but his blocking and penalties is worse this year. In addition to losing his mother, but with his first year with Pat Shurmur, you remember constantly we'd say, "Hey, why is he using Noah Fant in the first half, and then he disappears completely in the second?" So I can't put that all on Noah Fant.
Yeah,
I think he's not being utilized. The last couple games, his receptions has definitely been going up. But in regards to tight ends, Noah Fant's more athletic, Noah Fant's faster, but Albert O is, I think, a more well-rounded tight end.
Real quick, I'm gonna pull this up. Gator Albright is my all-time favorite Johnny Knoxville stunt double. You know what? I never thought about that until now, Gator, but that he does kind of look. He's got the look a bit. I would love to see. I'm Benjamin Albright, and this is the human slingshot or something like that. I'm gonna hit up Ben on that about that on Twitter and be like, "Hey, we need you to do a jackass scenario."
Glenn makes a comment. Glenn says Noah isn't the one who is struggling, who saying his struggles because of his mom. That's someone on Twitter who offered as an excuse. It's important to point out Noah isn't making excuses. Yeah, sure. Because he's a professional. But if you think about it, imagine going up on a press conference, say, "Hey, Noah, you've had 7 penalties this year, and our blocking hasn't been well." How would it sound if he was like, "My mom died"? So I think that's something that he's trying to fight himself. I think I'm not saying I'm saying he's trying to something. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but it's a factor. This up.
Steve said it right here. Brett Favre threw 5 touchdowns when he lost the day after he lost his dad.
That's true, but there's a difference between being the guy who the offense runs through and play calling for you.
But I'm not saying it's still a number 1 draft pick.
I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I'm saying it's definitely a factor.
It's a factor, sure, but
it's a factor.
Look, let's get off the Noah Fant train because it's not the biggest news right now that we need to be focusing on. But the point is, he needs to do a better job. He is a first-round draft pick, and he is looking like an undrafted free agent.
Like I said, he's more athletic. He's faster.
Albert O has outperformed him. Yeah, Albert O has outperformed him in every facet of the tight end position for the last several games.
Albert O wants that. I think Albert O is playing from behind.
He definitely did.
There's a difference when you're playing from behind. Noah Fant has a starting position. Albert O wants a starting position. And I think
he's about to take it, man.
Faster and more athletic. And I think Albert O is just more of a well-rounded tight end. He's
liquid
big.
Gold.
He can catch. His run after catch is more than Noah Fant, and he blocks better. So I think Albert O is definitely a more well-rounded tight end.
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised unless Noah Fant can really step up. I'd say they give him one more year, and Albert O becomes the guy with Saulbert as the backup.
It wouldn't surprise me even a little bit.
Surprise me. I wouldn't be upset. I would not be upset because one thing that the Broncos have done well with drafting is tight ends.
And I like this what Mundungus said real quick because I remember who it was, but he said that he needs to take some mental health time. Who was it? I think it was.
I know I'm blanking.
Someone on the Steelers, I think, stepped out and is like, I can't play right now. I need to take some time.
I can't. I know who. I
remember who it is. But if that's the case, if that was the case with Noah losing his mom, look, I get it, brother. It hurts. It sucks. If that is the case, if that is a strong contributor to the poor play, you need to take a step back, take some mental health time. Maybe we can hope.
Let's hope he can regain.
So let's see.
Professionalism. Calvin Ridley. That's who it was.
Calvin Ridley. Thank you. That's who it was. And Avatar talked about losing his dad this year. Avatar.
Sorry.
We feel for you, brother. If you ever need anything, okay, reach out. Okay, you can hit me or Isaiah up on Twitter. You can see it down there underneath at Broncos Viking. Although everybody kind of voted, and it seems like a lot of people are really into this new name idea for me, which will possibly be very soon ZZ Mountaintop, just because of the beard. But either way, you can hit us up. You're a weirdo, and you're my best friend. What's that say about you?
You're a best weirdo.
You're right. Anyway,
but yes, if you ever need anything,
if you need anything, brother, we are here. We'll do. I can't promise. I can't promise that I can do anything that will really make a profound effect from where I am in Tennessee or anything else, especially financially, because my finances are a joke.
Same,
but
I lost a parent. What year is this?
You just need someone to talk to.
18 years ago.
That's right.
My mother 18 years ago, so I understand what it's like to lose a parent. It's tough. It's a wake up call. It's there's some days where you want to call them or talk to them. You're like, it sucks that you can't. So those times you want to talk to or message them, you're more than welcome to message myself or Johnny.
Anytime. I will. If as soon as I see your message, we'll have a conversation. Okay, Avatar. You got me, brother. You got both of us. All right. You got the whole MHR. You got the whole MHRT fam. You got the whole NRW crew behind you, brother. Yeah. All right. Never be. And that goes for anybody who's a part of this group, who's a part of this show, a part of MHRT fam. If you are having an issue, reach out because we are good sounding boards. I'm a ordained minister. Isaiah is a youth pastor. We are very good at listening and talking. All right.
Yes.
So,
A youth pastor who just had his first newspaper article written.
That's
about
right.
himself.
I forgot about that. Congratulations on being quoted in what was it? The Beast?
The Daily
Beast.
For those of you who know, you know.
Anyway, congratulations on your interview and you're being quoted. That's a huge deal for you, my brother. And
Broncos.
Anyway, the blessings keep on coming. So Steve comes back in and says Shermer is the problem. Offense needs to keep the D off the field. You're not wrong. Look, like I said earlier, I like Teddy Bridgewater, but he is a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
He's not the answer.
He's not the answer. He never has been. Look, we were all excited the first 3 weeks when we went 3-0. It was exciting. It was so much fun because we hadn't felt like that in half a decade. Like, let's be honest, we hadn't felt like that. Because it's a fact. I'm saying like that because it's a fact, Isaiah.
It is, but it sounds so bad.
It does sound bad, and it should, because that's what it's been, is bad. Okay? Look, half a decade we hadn't felt that. So we were super excited. Now, Broncos country, we love you. We were way too quick to jump on the Teddy B's the man. Let's sign him to a long term, things like that. No, look, he's not the answer. We've seen it. It's the proof. The writing is on the wall. Okay.
I mean, put it this
Teddy
way, Johnny. I'm going to make 2 points.
On a bullet wound. I'm going to
make 2 points. And Pat Shermer's definitely responsible, but I'm going to make 2 points.
But so is Teddy B.
Yes. Washington was last in allowing points per game. This is where we should put up 30 points for the first time. The last time we put up 30 points was week 16 against the Raiders last year.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No. Was it against I think. But moving on. We put up 17 points.
Yep.
Against the Washington football team, who allows the most points, and we won by 7 points.
I know.
That's number one.
It's pathetic.
Number two. Let me ask you this, Johnny, and you guys in the comments, and I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. On Sunday, can Teddy Bridgewater keep up with Dak Prescott in the shootout? Let's say both defenses fail. Not to mention Trayvon Diggs. I think Trayvon Diggs playing. I heard something that he might not.
He might not. We don't know yet.
Jerry Judy's back. I mean, that's another story. Teddy Bridgewater, Dak Prescott shootout. Now,
no. If we get into a shootout with Dallas, we're done. It's game over.
Perfect world. This is the game where Teddy Bridgewater comes out shooting. Broncos shock the NFL, upset the Cowboys, and we're back in it. But that's not that's gonna happen. So if you don't have
we get into a shootout. Listen, the last good shootout with Dallas was Tony Romo versus Peyton Manning, and it was epic. But we get into a shootout between Teddy B and Dak Prescott. We lose 10 times out of 10. Not happening.
Teddy Bridgewater got in a shootout with Tyler Heineke.
Oh, it was a joke. They destroyed him. No, look, we do not win. If we get in a shootout against Dallas, we do not win the game. Period. We do not win.
First off, if we're in that position, that means if we're in a shootout and it comes down to it, that means we did something good. It means our defense.
Look, if we get in a shootout with Dallas, and if we got in a shootout with the 2021 Dallas Cowboys and we won, that's something worthy of a movie deal. Just saying.
That's
it's not going to happen. Look, we do not win a shootout with Dallas. Now, if we can bring the Mark from Georgia, Mr. Mark Langley in the house. Here's to you, brother. It's good to see you.
What's up, Mark?
It's been a while. Oh, by the way, combining my wife got me these. Combining my love of the Denver Broncos and my love of Star Wars, Broncos of Denver, I am with Yoda. And then it says, do or do not, there is no try.
That's because of me. You know you have that because of me, right?
Sure.
I took the koozie, so you just got another one. You're welcome. You wouldn't have got it if I hadn't grabbed your
Actually, fun story. I've actually had this for about 3 years. I just haven't used it.
Fun story. Shut up. So Shadow
you stole my koozie.
Actually, you had 3. One was for me.
I did
Shadow
have 3.
Jacker says,
I had 3, so I had 3 to throw behind me during the show.
My goodness, I'm so sorry you were showing. It happened years ago. Thanks be to God because I got over it. Got past it, and I was blessed with the greatest mom in the world, and that's my current mom now. So I'm glad for that. Glenn says last good shootout with Dallas involved J.R. Ewing.
Oh, come on.
I don't know who that is.
Seriously? No. What are you kidding? The shootout between Peyton Manning and Tony Romo is not something.
When Tony Romo ran for a touchdown and got DeMarcus Ware respect.
Look, no. Oh, come. You mean Peyton Manning, right? You're talking about Peyton Manning.
What did I say?
You said Tony Romo.
I mean, yeah, when Peyton Manning
ran? Come on.
And got respect from DeMarcus Ware. And DeMarcus Ware never let it happen again. He had to respect Peyton Manning's run game.
Oh, I like this. Steve Sarkovich is predicting Sutton has a huge game. Steve, Iron Man, I want you to drop it in the comments what you predict for yards and receptions for Cortland Sutton. Since you say that, I want to know what you think.
Steve, all right, Stark. Since you got earlier, Steve said his everybody calls people at work call him Iron Man. His friends call him Stark. So is this business or personal? We call him Iron Man. We call him Stark.
Friends. This is friends.
So we call him Stark.
We'll call him Stark.
Stark. Since you got me on it,
this is Broncos. This is Broncos country, right? We're Broncos country, but we're the NRW crew. We are MHRT fan. We are NRW crew. That's friends. I don't care what you say. All right, because I would go to bat for anybody that is part of this.
Jerry Judy has a huge game coming back last week.
It's good to see.
I think a lot of people said, why didn't Pat Shurmur use Jerry Judy? I think I will defend Pat Shurmur on this. I think Jerry Judy coming back. I think he didn't want to overuse him. I think he wanted him to get his legs underneath him, get him warmed up, get him a couple catches, but didn't want to overuse him. I think against Dallas, he's warmed up. He's been at practice. He's healthy. I think this is a Jerry Judy.
Have you seen the videos of him dancing during practice again?
Yes, but dancing is different in a full contact game.
No, you're right. But here's my point. Look, he's gotten back to the point where he even feels comfortable enough that he feels like he can.
That's fine. But with all the injuries this season and people coming back from injury and then getting injured again, I think Pat Shurmur's like, let's get some catches to him, get his hands warmed up, get his legs underneath him. Don't want to overuse him because we can beat Washington football team without throwing Jerry Judy the ball every third play. And so I'm defending Pat. I'm really defending Pat Shurmur on that. But I think against Dallas, I think Jerry Judy has a huge game coming back. He's had one game. He has had a full week of practice. He's back in the swing of things. And I think this is a big game because this is the Jerry Judy versus CD Lamb mock-up. We know what happened with that 2020 draft class. It was Jerry Judy, CD Lamb, and Henry Ruggs and Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's in the league of his own. We know what happened to Henry Ruggs.
Okay.
We know what happened to Henry Ruggs. So I think this is CeeDee Lamb versus Jerry Judy. Who was truly the better receiver in the draft? And I think Jerry Judy is going to come out wanting to show CeeDee Lamb, I'm better. I'm better than you.
Can I do it? I'm going to do it. Oh no.
Okay, hold on.
Hot take. All right, so CeeDee Lamb he's a little banged up right now too. So there's a good chance that you're right. Jerry Judy will outball CeeDee Lamb this game because Jerry Judy's he's healthy now. He's coming back from injury. CD right now he's hurt. He's feeling some pains. Yeah. Earlier this week, I real quick I want to bring this up because this is I never thought of it this way. But I think it was another one from Ben Albright that he said earlier this week that I never thought about this, even when I played, which is these guys go out on that field and they take the equivalent of like 17 car crashes per game with how hard they get hit and stuff. Yeah. I mean, you gotta think about how much these guys feel this. Even when they walk off the field and they're having a good, they had a great game. When they get back to that locker room, dude, they're all covered in ice and probably hot, icy hot.
Honestly, Johnny, you'll understand this. You understand this? They feel like they just got done with the 12-mile ruck march every week.
I don't want to talk about that, okay? 12-mile ruck march.
That. Steve came back. He said 10 receptions. Whoa.
175 yards and 2 touchdowns for Cortland Sutton.
Whoa, that's
that right there.
That's 17.
Worthy of a hot take.
17.5 yards per reception. I can see that. 2 TDs. I can see that. 10. Ooh, that's
175 yards, dude. That would break his own record.
That's Julio Jones.
That's Julio. Yeah. So, like I said, that's why I hot taked it. I mean, he jumped in right there, and he totally, So he put us on notice there.
He says
Judy versus Lamb. He needs to step up. I like that, Steve. I like that.
Definitely. Justin Jefferson's over there on his own. I knew that was going to happen. But the Judy versus Lamb is who's been the better one. What's his name? CeeDee Lamb's been using the red zone a lot more. Jerry Judy's been hurt, and I think Jerry Judy was supposed to have a huge year.
Even though he is banged up too, the Cowboys have Amari Cooper.
Yes.
And here's the thing: Amari Cooper, like I said, he's nursing 4 separate injuries right now. He's playing.
Wait.
He's got
Stop it.
What?
Patrick Surtain is guarding CeeDee Lamb.
I know.
We know who Patrick Surtain is. CeeDee Lamb is basically a non-factor at this point in time because Patrick Surtain is locked down.
Oh yeah, he is. But here's the thing: you got to remember, he's still Amari Cooper. Even injured, he's dangerous.
Well, so let's say Pat Surtain's on the boundary. Ronald Darby's going to be guarding Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that matchup. Ronald Darby's actually much better than Cal Fuller.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Go.
Real quick. I'm going to bring up Mr. Mark Langley's comment here because we haven't talked about him yet. Kenny Young will have a big game.
I love that.
Earlier in the show, I think it was Steve Starkovich asking why we hadn't talked about Kenny Young yet. Let's talk Kenny Young for a minute.
Steve, I saw that.
Young.
I saw that comment and it delayed. I love Kenny Young. I watched him last week.
Out in his first game in Orange and Blue.
That dude is legit. He's like Alexander Johnson.
What a pickup. Well, no, he's better than Alexander. I'm going to say right now. Here we go. You ready for this? I'll take Kenny Young is better than Alexander Johnson. Boom! I said it.
Let us know in the comments, guys. Is Kenny Young better than Alexander Johnson?
Better than AJ Johnson. I say it. He's more athletic. He's sideline to sideline. He shoots that A gap
good.
The way he shoots into that A gap, dude. Oh my God! I was watching last week. I was like, "Holy crap! What an acquisition!"
Defense so fast. Is he the signal caller this week?
No, I think it's still going to be I think it's still going to be I know Baron Browning's going to be playing. Browning or Sternad, one of those two is going to be calling it. But Kenny Young, dude, sideline to sideline and shooting the A gap. He's also decent in coverage.
Yes.
I mean, thank you, Steve.
He's
Manimal.
Stephen Weatherly had a sack, but Kenny Young is for a week. You can definitely tell against the Browns we missed our inside linebackers, and then Kenny Young.
Big E, here's to you, my friend. But back to Kenny Young. It's good to see you, Big E. He says he's not a big fan of Twitter. Can't blame you, brother.
Can't blame you.
Twitter is good and bad for so many reasons.
We missed our inside linebackers against the Browns.
Oh, my God.
We played Washington.
But we brought in Kenny Young. Look, here's what I'm going to say. Because we said it, well, you said it last week. And you and I talked about it last week, rather. But when I couldn't be on the show last week, which I'm sorry, everybody, that I wasn't here last week. I had a family thing. I'm just going to say it was a health issue for my mother-in-law. My wife was dealing with a whole lot of things, and so I was taking care of my kids. Shout out to my mother-in-law. She's out of the hospital, and she's doing much, much better. So thank God for that. Now, that being said, you and I talked about it last week, Isaiah. Kenny Young came into the game against Washington pissed off. He was mad. You know how Von Miller said he went to sleep 4-4, woke up 7-1. Kenny Young went to sleep 7-1, woke up 4-4.
He's Kenny Young. All I can say
mad, and he translated his anger to the field, brother. And boy, did it come out.
He looked like he'd been playing for the Broncos all season. He looked like he'd been playing for the Broncos all season. Now, my question is, Johnny, and those in the comments, who is his complimentary linebacker? You got Josie Jewell, Alexander Johnson, Justin Sternad. Now, I will say this. Baron Browning looked good.
Looks legit.
Looked good. Now, they're both sideline to sideline. Now, is Kenny Young and Baron Browning the future of our linebacker core? Now, if I'm going to give him a compliment linebacker, oh, man. No, I'm going to say Alexander Johnson. Alexander Johnson.
It's Baron Browning.
I was thinking that. But I think Kenny Young is that coverage linebacker, and that he's that coverage linebacker, and he's that thumper. Alexander Johnson's that thumper. So I think him and Alexander Johnson, that run stopping linebacker duo, and he's more athletic than Josie Jewell, so he can cover.
I'm gonna make an argument here though. Baron Browning.
I see Baron
Browning's gonna develop, and
that swing pass that he stepped up and stopped.
Look,
But
Baron Browning is a rookie. Look, he's got a whole. He's a rookie, and what we saw from Browning this last season, or this last game, I mean, phenomenal. And look,
Browning was.
He's going to develop. He's going to keep playing. He's going to develop. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to say it now, and you. I'll push hot take. You ready? Hot take. Next season, Kenny Young, Baron Browning. I'm sorry to say it. It's true.
Glenn agrees with you, but Stark has a different opinion. Now,
okay, throw it forward.
He says AJ and Browning. So he doesn't say Kenny. So no Kenny Young. Stark, no Kenny Young. Did you forget about Kenny Young? But let us know. We're not.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm saying
now, this one might hurt Mundungus a little bit in his heart place.
AJ and Browning's pretty good.
He's all about Honey Bear, Josie Jewell. But I'm sorry. I kind of agree here. Real quick. Where was it?
Mark from Georgia says, "Can Browning?"
Yeah. Sorry. Going back to Steve's real quick. Jewell is done. I'm sorry to say it.
But Mundungus he didn't say Jewell. He said Mundungus said Browning and Young.
That's what I said. Jewell. It's Kenny Young and Browning.
So it didn't hurt Mundungus all that bad. So everybody's saying,
"Oh no!" But you start talking sadness about Josie Jewell, and I promise Mundungus is going to start to hurt Honey Bear.
Josie Jewell is younger. So are you saying Kenny Young and Josie Jewell?
No, well, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Big E Bronco. Tell us what you're talking about.
Josie Jewell and Kenny Young, or
Kenny Young and Josie Jewell? Or are you talking about
Josie Jewell and Baron Browning?
Josie Jewell with who? Who would be the tandem? Who would be the partnership inside? At our Now
we'll say this. Yeah. Shadowjacker says, tough question because Josie Jewell was balling out before he tearing his pec. Both of them. That's the thing. That's the sad part. Alexander Johnson and Josie Jewell were both balling out. But both Kenny Young and Baron Browning are doing some amazing things in that position, and they are both way more athletic, and both are also better in coverage. I didn't really get to see Baron Browning's run defense, but his pass coverage and the hits he was making in the open field was incredible. Now, so I guess everybody in the comments, we just gave up on Justin Strnad. We're just like Justin Strnad.
Justin Strnad has not shown up the way we were hoping.
He stepped up and done what he can, but
he's done what he can. But he's better than Baron Browning? I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
And Glenn says Young isn't under contract here, so we need to make sure he re-signs. So Glenn's already on board with Kenny Young, and that's only after one game. So we agree Kenny Young is legit.
Look, sorry, I choked on my beer a little bit. Oh goodness.
Stark says Kenny Young, Browning will grow.
Look, Kenny Young came to Denver, the number one tackler and the number one tackle for loss on the LA Rams for the season.
And he picked up right where he left
with
off.
all that. And he literally picked up right where he left off in
What do
Denver.
we give them?
We gave them next year's. We gave them a 2024, I believe, 6th rounder for Kenny Young and a 2024 7th rounder.
George Payton is good.
He is very good. Look, there's a lot of things that you can say about his hand, about him and everything. A lot of people are arguing that he's not quite the guru that we were hoping he was because of some moves that he has made and questioning some of those moves. That's fine. I will still say I still have a lot of faith in George Payton, and I think he's made some. I think the Kenny Young move and even the Von Miller trade, while painful, good moves. And he's
Biggie
doing
Bronco
well.
came and clarified. He said
Josie Jewell, Kenny Young.
and Kenny. Let me ponder that. Josie Jewell's a great run stopper, great signal caller. Kenny Young's a great run stopper, very high energy, field to field.
Sideline to sideline, drops into coverage.
Let me ask you guys in the comments. Let me ask you guys in the comments, because I think they're both their last year under contract. Josie Jewell and Alexander Johnson, if I'm correct.
Maybe I think probably.
I know it's Alexander Johnson's last year.
For sure. For sure it's AJ's. I think Josie
was having a better year before they tore their pec.
Well.
Who was having a better year before they tore their pec? AJ or Josie? That's who's coming back.
Here's the problem with that. I'm sorry. I'm going to jump in. I know you're asking for the comments on that, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into this to you real quick, okay? Because we also need to get down to our predictions for Dallas. Look, it's really hard to speculate because Josie Jewell only had, 2-3 games before he tore that pec. Now, up to that point, he was having a career year for himself. He was. AJ Johnson played 6 games before he tore that pec. All right, so he had quite a few more games to get to that level where he was, and they were.
I
against
think Josie
teams,
Jewell was having a better
and
year.
a few of them were better. A few of them, though, let me say this: a few of them were better teams we were playing against before that AJ got to play against, because Josie got hurt in the Jets game. So
I think Josie Jewell was having a better year than Alexander Johnson. Now back up to this. This is to George Payton's genius. Steve says Sternard is a safety. Yeah, basically. Glenn says before his injury, Jewell was like a man wearing a beltless
bathrobe, balls out.
Now, Shadowjacker, this is
that's inappropriate, sir.
This is where it comes to George Payton's genius. He said, "I really believe Kenny Young was a part of the trade." And this is why, this goes into Steve's comment, Payton is good. This is why Vaughn is coming back. But back up to this. This is what George Payton did. If Kenny Young was a part of the trade, George Payton separated them. So he got separate draft picks. Instead of saying, we get Kenny Young, a second and a third, and you get Von Miller and a pick. He said, okay, you know what? We get Kenny Young first.
And a second and seventh round pick. Seventh round draft pick.
And then he said, then you get Vaughn. And so he split them up in weeks. So it doesn't look like it was all just one big trade. Yeah. He split them up. That's genius.
Could be. We will likely, if that is the case, we will likely never know it. But that's a cool thing. Denver Gator. All right, Broncos country, have a great, safe weekend. Do not expect to win versus Dallas. Just hope Broncos step up. Play hard and smart and don't get embarrassed. Go Broncos and peace. All right, brother. Hey,
appreciate you, Denver Gator.
Safe. You take care. We will see you next Friday, Denver Gator. All right. So let's go. Let's move on. Let's move on from this because we are at 1 hour and 8 minutes. We need to start rolling this back. We need to talk Dallas real quick. All right.
Lost.
Keys. No, not where I was going with this, but good Lord, Isaiah, you're killing me here.
I'm negative.
You're killing me. Listen, keys to the game. You have to give me at least 2 keys to the Broncos beating Dallas. What are your 2 keys right now? And go.
Put your pads on. And
shut up, Isaiah. Give me some real keys. Stop being dumb.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Secondary.
All right. So what about the secondary?
Secondary has to play the best game they've ever played.
Okay.
Dallas is known. Dak Prescott's been putting up yards. He's in the MVP conversation, comeback player of the year conversation. Been putting up yards against every team. Legitimately, the secondary has to be shut down, lockdown. You have to make it very, very, very hard for them to move down the field. Washington football team move down the field way.
So you're giving me a defensive. When you finish your defensive, I want you to give me an offensive key to the game.
Oh, okay. Then if I'm going to give one offense, one defense, I'm going to combine the defense. Pass rush and secondary, basically the whole damn defense. And offense has to be, you know what? Not even run game, because that's a given. Big plays. I'm tired of one Cortland Sutton deep pass on the sideline where he dives for it and catches it. I'm tired of just seeing one a game. We need post routes, corner routes, post corner routes.
We need a lot of routes, and we need a lot of routes between the hash too.
You just took it out of my mouth. I thought about this last week. How many seam routes have we seen thrown this year to the tight end? If I can't even think of one, we have a 6'5". Albert O is huge. Albert O is huge.
Big guy.
Seam routes. We don't even have seam. We don't throw seam routes.
All right, you're right. No, we don't, and it's pathetic. It needs to be done.
We don't throw seam routes. I'm trying to get one deep ball to Tim Patrick down the sideline or to Cortland Sutton. We got a few
deep balls between the hash, deep balls between the hash to let's see, we had one to KJ Hamler, we had another deep one in the seam
6 weeks ago, and we haven't seen a play like that since.
But that's all. Anyway,
that's
it.
it.
So those are your keys to the game. Is the secondary needs to step the heck up?
Overall defense and deep.
That's
plays.
sad. All right, here's mine. You ready? Defensively, secondary. Well, see, I'm actually going to give 2 defensive, 1 offensive. Is that all right with you?
That's what I did. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, all right. Defensively, blitz, zone blitz, to be specific. Listen. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and I will give this to Vic Fangio because it was nice to see it. Against the Washington football team, we saw more of the zone blitz than we've ever seen him call before.
We got a lot of
Ever. So now, stick to that. Because we all know Vic Fangio has said in press conferences, I don't blitz. I don't like blitzing. You know what? Right now, that's the only way we're going to win games. So zone blitz. We need to bring the zone blitz. We need to collapse that pocket and make Dak Prescott move. Dak Prescott starts moving. He starts trying to throw the ball on the move. Guess what happens? My second key to the game. The secondary steps up and starts picking off the ball.
Yes.
You make Dak Prescott, listen, he's a great quarterback. One thing he sucks at and absolutely sucks at is throwing the ball on the move.
We need coverage.
So you make him move. You make him move and try to get rid of that ball. We start making picks. We get at least, we win the turnover battle. Ben Albright said this too. He said Ben Albright predicted you get at least 2 interceptions versus Dak Prescott. Broncos win the game. I'm just going to say we win the turnover battle. We win the game.
Except for the fact that one thing we've struggled with is points off turnovers.
You're right. But I'm just saying. We turn over the ball. That is our defensive. That's our defensive zone blitz. Make Dak Prescott move, therefore throwing it, and then second point, win the turnover battle. My third key to the game offensively: run the ball. I said it at the beginning of the show. I'm going to say it now. Dallas, their interior defensive line is their weakest point. Run the damn ball. Run it up their throat.
Yes.
Run it up their throat. Stop trying to do all this wide outside running. Run it up their throat. Right down the middle.
Why?
Pound it.
Because if Trayvon Diggs plays, their strongest defensive thing is their secondary. The reason why they've been winning games is because it's a passing league. And they have a really good secondary. If you can keep the ball out of the air and just run it down and tire them out and make their cornerbacks tackle. Get their cornerbacks sore from having to tackle Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. Make them have to like Vic Fangio says his DBs have to be able to tackle. Make them tackle. If you have to constantly make them tackle all the time, they're constantly going to be thinking about the run. That's when you open up the play action. Glenn, we can't read that comment.
No, we can't read that comment. This is a family show. Shadow Jacker says, Shermer, for the love of God, please, if someone start running well, please stick with them. Yes. Now, Javonte Williams has the worst stuff rate in the NFL right now. Sucks to say it. It does, but it's true. Now, he also has some of the highest explosive plays in the NFL, too.
What do you mean worst stuff rate?
Like, on average, his yards per rush is lowest in the NFL.
But he also breaks the most tackles.
Now, he breaks the most tackles and gets the most, some of the biggest explosive plays, sure. But as far as yards per carry goes, he's getting stuffed.
And the reason why Shadow we have to do that, Shadow, is because unlike Dallas, I'm getting angry. Unlike Dallas, Pat Shermer doesn't know how to use the 1-2 punch. Unlike Cleveland with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, Pat Shermer doesn't know how to use the 1-2 punch.
Right.
Dallas with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, Pat Shermer doesn't know how to use the 1-2 punch.
Last key I'm going to pull up here. I'm going to, because he's the newest member of NRW crew, I'm going to bring up this key from Steve Starkovich. Then we're going to give our predictions, and then we're going to get out of here. Steve says, got to stop Zeke and Pollard and make the girls one-dimensional. Here's the thing. I agree with you 100%, Steve. 100%. The only thing that I'm going to add to it is Zeke and Pollard are not one-dimensional players. They get out there and Dak Prescott puts up a pass towards them. They both can catch.
But since we have Kenny Young, I'm a lot more confident in stopping them.
More confident, sure. But I am saying, that both Zeke and Pollard can receive. They are not just one-dimensional running backs. Those guys can bust out, and those two can absolutely catch a pass.
If we had great coaches,
you got to be ready for the running back screen against Pollard and Zeke.
If we had great coaches, Mike McCarthy is going to use the 1-2 punch of their running backs.
Yeah.
If we had great coaches, Pat Sherman would be like, "Oh yeah, me too."
Mark, he says he agrees with me. He agrees with you, but he also says, but you two are the 1-2 punch. Well, bam! Love it. Now, here we go. It's an hour and 16. We're going to start rolling this back.
27-17 Cowboys. We lose.
Hey, my punching technique, come over here, Glenn. I'll show you what my real punching technique looks like.
Ooh, yeah.
Anyway. That was creepy as
That was
crap,
the
dude.
27-17 Dallas wins.
What did you say?
27-17 Dallas wins.
10-point deficit. All right.
I have no confidence.
All right, guys. Drop in the comments your predictions for the final score. My prediction, I'm going to be our Dave Full-Glassman today.
Yeah, where's Dave?
I don't know. I haven't seen him, but I'm going to be him today. I'm going to be our Full-Glassman. All right. I'm calling it 24-21 Denver.
All right, Johnny, be that
guy. Look, I can be hopeful. I will gladly be the optimist for our show.
Good, we need it because I know these comments are about to blow up with no
realistically, do I think that this game is in the bag? Absolutely not. But I really think that there are some things going for us right now that could really help us and could get us close. So there you go. Steve says, or Avatar says 27-24 Dallas. Glenn, 27-14 Dallas, unfortunately.
Everybody says 27 points.
Not everybody. Steve is joining me on the optimism side, 28-20 Denver. Big E says 38-10 Cowboys.
That sounds right.
That sound was like a climax, says Mark. That's right. And
you're not ready yet.
Don't make him do it again. Please don't make him do it again.
That's not for anybody in here. That's only for
Glenn says Joe Rogan told me the Broncos were going to win. And listen, I love Joe Rogan. I love UFC.
What's with the Joe Rogan comment?
Listen, Joe Rogan is the god of UFC, okay?
I know who Joe Rogan is. I'm just confused with the connection with him and Glenn.
It doesn't matter. All right, hey, listen, NRW crew, MHRT fam, it has been an absolute blast talking Broncos with you. All right, please do not miss this Sunday, the neighborhood. All right. Do not miss the neighborhood. It cut an hour and a half before game time. So get ready to join us around 10:30. Please like, subscribe, share, hit us up, hit that notification bell. All right. Because when we go live on the neighborhood on Sunday, that's how you know when we're live. Okay. Then also do not miss Tuesday, Broncos Talk, a 6'10" Mexican, Richie, 7654, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Thursday, the flagship podcast, Mundungus Creevy, Glenn Mile High Fiber Hauser, Mr. Boggins, and a 6'10" Mexican, 7654, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Catch us next Friday for another episode of Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, 7654, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Again, I say, please, guys, like, subscribe, share. We have so many fans on Facebook and on Twitter. Jump on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, y'all. Help us out just a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course on Facebook and Twitter, share us out there. Let's grow this family. We love you.
Do it.
Do you ready for me to do it? You want me to do it? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Oh my God, I'm going to do it. Here we go.
Do it.
We love you, Broncos country. We love you, NRW crew. We are going to end the show as we always do with the thing that began here, and it will eventually translate
to the
stadium.
Join us, Steve.
Oh, Steve, you have never been part of this. Get ready for it. We call this the Mile High Five. We will not rest until it is done at the stadium and announced over the PA system at Mile High Stadium. Are you ready? Put your arms out with me, please. It is very simple. I shout Mile High Five. You clap above your head as high as you possibly can. Here we go. Mile High Five!
Yeah.
Woo! Thank you, NRW crew. Thank you, Broncos country. We love you, and we We'll see you on Sunday for the neighborhood.